These mosquitoes are so annoying. I can't sleep. So many bites. Why did Hashem even create them?
They really are. Maybe if we tell a story, the mosquito will just sit down and be quiet.
Okay.
Well, Grandpa Spider was busy weaving a new web in a rose bush out in the yard. He was hanging from a thin cord, stretching out of his body and creating a beautiful web between him and the branches.
He
chuckled to himself.
What a wonderful web. I will be able to sit here peacefully and catch a lot of delicious flies for lunch. I feel like eating a big, delicious fly.
All of a sudden, a small spider climbed on the web and approached Grandpa, crying loudly.
Why, hello, Vick. What's wrong?
Grandpa Spider asked Vick, his grandson.
Why are you crying? Oh, Grandpa, don't ask,
cried the little spider.
I had a horrible and awful day. First of all, in the morning, I stood on the bathroom sink, and a little girl came in and began screaming, "Oh, Mommy, a spider!" And then she tried to drown me in the sink. It was so scary.
Oh, poor Vic. Why does everyone do that to him?
I made a giant leap and ran away,
continued Vick.
I ran to the kitchen and climbed all the way to the ceiling and started to spin a web. But then the mother of the girl looked up and saw me. Yuck! A spider! He said disgustedly, and ruined my web with the broom before I can say, a bug on a rug. I'm being banished from every place, Grandpa, and it's so very insulting.
Oy, I really feel bad for him.
Well, Shaltiel, people don't like spiders in the house. Anyway, Vic was very sad.
Grandpa, why did Hashem create us if everyone hates us? I wish I wasn't a spider.
Grandpa Spider looked at his grandson fondly and patted him with one of his 8 legs.
I want to tell you a story,
he said.
Listen, once upon a time, a long, long time ago, there lived an important and righteous king. His name was King David. But before he became the king, he had all kind of problems and troubles. One of them was that the king before him, Shaul, he chased him and he tried to kill him.
Did he try to drown him?
He tried to drown him in the sink?
Asked Vic, the grandson. But Grandpa laughed.
No, Vic. He was chasing him with soldiers and swords. So David had to run and hide.
Why did King Shaul want to kill David?
That's a long story, Shaltiel. I'll tell you about it a different time. But now, let's hear Grandpa's story.
Okay.
So one day, David was wandering in the mountains. Everything was so beautiful. But David knew that Shaul's soldiers were near, in the area, and he looked for a place to hide. In the mountainside, there was a cave, and he went in happily. It was warm and cozy in the cave, and David lay there and shut his eyes. God, what a beautiful world you've made. It's a shame I have to run away and hide, and I don't have time to enjoy all the beauty around me. He opened his eyes and saw in the cave's entrance a small spider. But tell me, God, asked David, why do you create spiders? What use do they have for anyone?
That's exactly what Vic the Spider asked.
Right?
Hey, I asked that too.
That's what Vic said.
Grandpa, did Hashem answer King David?
Grandpa Spider chuckled.
Oh, yes, he did. But not in words. Now, I want to tell you a secret. Do you know who the spider in the entrance of the cave was?
Who?
That was your great-great-great-great-grandfather, Whiter the Spider.
Whoa!
He lived in the cave and didn't know who the man who walked in the cave that day was. But all of a sudden, voices were heard from far off. Voices of people shouting, heavy boots, soldiers, clanging swords, weapons. Shaul's soldiers were nearing the cave.
Oh no, they're gonna catch King David!
But don't worry. Whiter the Spider immediately understood the soldiers were looking for the man in the cave, and he had an idea. He jumped to the entrance of the cave and quickly weaved a web, an enormous web, all over the entrance of the cave. And then, two of Shaul's soldiers got near and discovered the cave.
Maybe David is hiding in this cave.
One asked the other.
No way, answered the second. Don't you see the spider's web? If David had walked in here, it would have shredded to pieces. Nah, this cave is empty. And they left. They didn't know that Whiter the Spider had spun the web after David had entered. David also heard the soldiers' voices, and he lay there quietly so they wouldn't discover him. Only when he heard them leaving, he got up, went to the entrance, and stared with wonder at the enormous web that Whiter had spun. Now I understand that everything and anyone has a role in the world, even spiders, of course. What a nice story,
Sighed Vick.
I also have a role too, right? And besides, I'm the great-great-great-great-grandson of the spider who saved King David.
I bet the mosquitoes are important too, but we may not understand, right?
That's right. They probably have a very special and important role in the world. But look, he must have gone to sleep. I'm sure he enjoyed the story as well. Yeah? Okay, so maybe we'll go to sleep. Okay?
Yeah.